Start with a circular base, beginning from where the head will be. The following 2 chain stitches serve as standing stitches. Crochet around with double crochet stitches, DC. Crochet a total of 20 double crochet stitches. At the end of 20 stitches, tighten the loop. Finally, crochet a slip stitch in the first double crochet stitch. Second round, start with a chain stitch. In sequence, crochet a single crochet stitch in each stitch. Total 20 single crochet stitches. Second round ends. Crochet a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Thus, a circular crochet piece is completed. Here we use the same method to crochet 2 pieces. At the stitch marker, we'll demonstrate how to make a slip stitch to join. Insert your hook into the stitch where the stitch marker is placed, and pull the yarn through, which will leave you with 2 loops on the hook. Then draw the first loop through the second loop to complete the slip stitch. This action also signifies the end of the round. You can now remove the stitch marker. Break the yarn. This yarn do not break. In the same way, crochet the same circular piece again. One disc requires the wire to be cut. Another one doesn't require the wire to be cut. Here we take another circular piece. On the circular piece where the yarn hasn't been cut, begin by crocheting a chain stitch. Then move to the first stitch, which is where we previously placed the stitch marker. Also the point where we slip stitched. Pick up 2 strands of yarn. Insert the crochet hook into the hole. On the second circular piece, also pick up 2 strands of yarn and insert the hook into any stitch, connecting the 2 pieces together. Now crochet a single crochet stitch. Pull the yarn through. At this point, there are 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through again. This is the first single crochet stitch of round 3R3. Mark this first stitch. Moving forward, we'll crochet in sequence, alternating between connecting with single crochets. Requires crocheting a total of 12 single crochets. We've already made 1 single crochet. Now proceed to crochet the second single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 12 single crochets are now complete. There are 8 unworked stitches left, which will separate the 2 circles as we continue. Start by making 2 chain stitches. Then crochet a double crochet stitch in the same spot as the last single crochet. Crochet 8 more double crochets across the 8 unworked stitches. Finish the 8th double crochet. At the base of the first single crochet, where the stitch marker is, crochet a double crochet. On the other side, likewise, crochet a double crochet at the base of a single crochet. Continue with 8 more double crochets in sequence. Four, 5, 6, 7, 'ending with the 8th. Crochet a double crochet in the last single crochet. And finally, slip stitch into the first stitch, right where the marker is, to finish off this section. Continuing on, we will now work on the 4th round. Begin by chaining 2 stitches. Next, at the stitch marker's location, work a double crochet increase stitch. A double crochet increase, or DC ink, involves crocheting 2 double crochets in the same stitch. This is your first double crochet. Stay in the same stitch and proceed to crochet another double crochet. Place a new marker in this first stitch. Following this, you will repeat the process in each stitch across the round. creating a double crochet increase in every stitch. The second DC ink. The third DC ink. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. Eighth. Ninth. Tenth. Turning to continue around. The 11th. Twelfth. 13th. 14th. 15th. 16th. 17th. 18th. 19th. 20th. 'Finally, slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round, which is also where the stitch marker is located. Moving on, we will now crochet the 5th round. Switching to blue yarn. No need to cut the previous color. Keep it intact for use in the following rounds. We take out a new color, blue, and bring the yarn through. Chain 2 stitches. 1, 2. At the first double crochet stitch, which is where the stitch marker is, crochet 2 unfinished double crochets, yarn over, insert the hook, and place these 2 strands on the hook. You now have 2 loops on the hook. Do not proceed further. This constitutes 1 unfinished double crochet. Repeat in the same stitch for another unfinished double crochet. Yarn over. Pass through the first 2 loops, leaving you with 3 loops on the hook. Draw through all 3 loops. Place a marker in this stitch. Chain 1, completing a cluster stitch. Skip 1 stitch. Skip. And in the next stitch, work a 3DC cluster. Consisting of 3 unfinished double crochets. That's the first unfinished double crochet. Continue with the second. And the third. Then yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook, forming a 3DC cluster. Chain 1. Skip a stitch. Proceed to the next stitch and repeat. First unfinished double crochet. Continue with the second. And the third, followed by chaining 1 and skipping a stitch. Repeat this pattern for a total of 20. Ensuring you skip 1 stitch between each popcorn stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the 4th popcorn stitch. Spacing each popcorn stitch with a skipped stitch in between. Keep the white yarn attached on the hook throughout. Progress to the 11th. Twelfth, remembering to space each popcorn stitch. 13th. Fourteenth. 15th. 16th. 17th. 18th. 19th. and the 20th popcorn stitch. Finish the round by slip stitching into the first stitch. The first stitch of the next round will also start at the stitch marker location. Begin with white yarn to crochet the chicken's head. Start with a magic ring. chain 2. That's the first chain, and here's the second. Next, work a double crochet. Yarn over. Insert into the ring. Pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. 1 double crochet completed. Place a stitch marker in the first stitch. For round 1 R1, you'll make a total of 20 double crochets. Continue with 19 more double crochets. That's the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th double crochet. Tighten the initial loop. First, enlarge the loop. Then snug up the tail end. To restore it to a normal size, thread the tail onto the hook. Slip stitch into the first stitch at the marker position. This is the slip stitch cell. Round 1 is now complete. Now let's proceed to the second round. In each stitch, we'll crochet a single crochet. I'll demonstrate the technique first. Begin with the stitch where the stitch marker is. Crochet your first single crochet there. Insert the hook into the stitch and pull up the yarn, creating 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops. That's your first single crochet. Complete. Move the stitch marker to the first stitch of this round, removing it from the previous location and placing it on the new first stitch. Always mark the first stitch of every round. Continue crocheting, moving to the next stitch for another single crochet. This round requires 20 single crochets in total. The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Once you've crocheted 20 single crochets, slip stitch to join at the stitch marker to finish off this round. Pass the hook through the stitch. Bring the yarn out, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Draw the first loop through the second loop. That's 1 slip stitch completed. And thus the second round is finished.